Assalamu alaikum all. Hello and welcome back to JK's Corner. My name is Joke. Thank you for stopping by today. I hope you are all well. If you're a new Muslim Nigerian or if you're a new Muslim full stop who has just emigrated to a country outside of your home country, that means the way you find food will be different. I remember when I first came to the UK, I did not realize that just buying meat products from the shop, I needed to be very careful about that. I did not realize that the meat I would get from maybe Asda or Iceland, I did not realize that they were not halal meats at the time. It took me a while to realize that I was shopping wrong. So I thought, as there are more Muslims that are coming newly to the UK, just to do this video, so hopefully maybe one or two people will find benefits in the video. Another thing is, when we say halal product, a lot of people just limit halal to absence of alcohol in something and just regular chicken, beef, goats, and that sort of how we have come about the meat make them halal. Yes, they do. However, there are a lot of other food that will fall under the umbrella of halal, and these food are mainly vegetarian food. So for instance, you can easily walk into any restaurant and order anything on the menu that is vegetarian. One good thing about a lot of the restaurants now is the fact that they give you the name of the food you're ordering and they write the ingredient list underneath or something, and you can easily see if the sauce they've used to cook that food contains alcohol. You can always tell them to either hold off on that sauce, you don't want it. Some of those restaurants, they are making the sauce freshly for each meal, and ask them to omit alcohol from that food. However, when you buy vegetarian meals on the shops, even though it has suitable for vegetarians on the label, it's important to also read the label to make sure that it doesn't contain alcohol. One good product I like, when I remember it, I'll write it in the description box below. But the good thing about them is they tell you that it's suitable for vegetarian and it doesn't contain any alcohol products. I find that useful. Another thing that we have to watch out for as Muslims when we're ordering, especially when it's pizza, because we have Domino's pizza in Nigeria. I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think the Domino's pizza in Nigeria is halal. However, in the UK, it's not halal. So you need to be careful not to order pizza from regular pizza houses, because when they use meat products like pepperoni or salami or rashers or whatever, those are generally from pork products. So you need to be careful. If you want to order pizza, make sure you order from a halal pizza house. They will usually have the sign on the doors telling you that it's halal pizza house. Another thing that you need to be careful of to check is, you know, those pies, so those sheets that we use to make meat pies, you can get them ready-made from the shops, and I think they are in some shops in Nigeria now as well, you know, ShopRite and those. Be careful, because the ingredient list contains alcohol, so you do not want, some do not contain them. You need to read the ingredient list. I have a video on my channel, I will link that up here, I used shop bought pastry sheet to make meat pie. I was from Morrison's. I'm not sure if all the ones they sell in Morrison's do not contain alcohol, but this one that I used did not contain alcohol. So if you prefer to use shop bought pastries, please remember to read the ingredients list before you buy them. Not only do they contain alcohol, some of them they use lard, and lard is pig fat, so you want to be careful. It's very important to check all these things. Another one you need to be checking when you're buying is you need to check your jams. Jams sometimes contain gelatin, so you need to be sure you're buying the right jam that doesn't contain gelatin. These are just some of the things that we may not realize that they contain haram products in them, so we need to be careful when we're buying these things in the shops. Marshmallows, another really big no-no. They are not suitable for vegetarians. They're not suitable for halal consumers, except you buy them from a fully halal shop. It's also when you go to your coffee shops, your coffee houses to have your hot chocolate drink, be careful. You don't want to order hot chocolate with marshmallows on top. Your marshmallows, like I said, may contain haram product. I hope you're enjoying this video. If you are, please don't forget to click on the like button. Thank you very much. Also, when you go to the shop, just as good practice, so you get into the habit of it, read the product list or the ingredient list to be sure you're buying what you need to buy. Some of the cereals that they sell in the shops are not suitable for halal diets, so you need to watch out that you're not buying the wrong product for your family. I mentioned gelatin earlier in jams. Watch out for those low-fat yogurts. Many of them contain gelatin, so be careful when you're buying yogurts as well. I think on the whole, Greek yogurts are okay. I'm not sure because every time I've gone to pick a yogurt, I always read the label, and until I'm comfortable with that particular product, I don't buy it. So that's another thing. Just be careful when you're buying your yogurt, especially the low fat kind. Check the ingredient list, which usually will contain gelatin. There's also this mullah pots. Is it mullah rice or something they're called? Those ones, they may have changed now, but I know from experience from years ago, they definitely contain gelatin. So I have stayed away from them for several years. So mullah rice, I think they look very nice. They look attractive. I don't know what they taste like because I've never eaten it because of the gelatin content. But I don't know if that's changed. So if you eat that mullah rice, please remember to desist from eating it. It's not halal to eat. So be careful when you go out to restaurants to eat. Even though they say that they use halal chicken or halal beef to cook, but do they cook pork in that restaurant? You want to be careful. The busy kitchen, it's heated kitchen and all that. You don't want a situation where there's cross-contamination. So just stay away from that restaurant. It's not the only restaurant there is. There are lots of other restaurants you can go to where there won't be any risk of such cross-contamination. Another thing, when you go to like a lot of these all-inclusive, like a buffet breakfast place, so say you're sleeping over in a hotel and they have a buffet breakfast, they would usually have maybe their baked beans, their scrambled egg, their bacon, their sausages. You know, I went away a few weeks ago with work, and the restaurant we stayed with had breakfast. I asked the kitchen staff, can they give me some beans and scrambled egg from the kitchen? They said, well, it's here that they're all separate, that there's no cross-contamination. I said, well, what if somebody took a bacon and the oil, excess fats, flicks into the beans? I don't know that, so I'm trying to avoid that. And they wouldn't give me a separately cooked egg from the kitchen, and I was fine with that. You know, there was, like I said, it was a buffet breakfast, so there were lots of options. If I don't eat that scrambled eggs or if I don't eat that baked beans, it's not the end of the world. I can always eat something else. There were lots of other options which I chose from eventually. So while I think on the whole, for the sake of inclusion, restaurants should be catering to everybody, just be careful where you're eating, the sort of cross-contamination that could occur in that place, and protect yourself from the doubts. If there's going to be any guesswork or any doubts in that, take that away for yourself. You don't want to risk it, so just do away with it. Personally, I think the invention of vegan products, vegan food, is a really beautiful thing for the Muslim community. The good thing is, because the rule around veganism is so strict, there isn't any cross-contamination when they're preparing the food. When they tell you that this section is vegan, it is vegan. There are lots of meat-free options that you can choose and enjoy your food that would take the guesswork out of how they've prepared this. The UK is aware that there's a big and growing community of vegans in the UK, so they are catering for them more than they're catering for halal eaters. That's not a market that the UK as a whole cares about. Don't forget that we're only a small percentage of the whole UK population. There are a lot of halal restaurants, fine, but if you venture into a mainstream restaurant, there is the vegan section you can always order from. I hope this video has been helpful to at least one person. If you have found it useful and if you found it helpful, please recommend it to one other person, and I hope to see you in my next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bye bye.